welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real. Today, another analysis series, finally after so long of a break. And today we are going to talk about something very interesting that is brewing up in District 9. And this is the first project that is coming up. It's called Robertson Opus. So without further ado, let's begin. This is actually the facade of how Robertson Opus will look like. We will go into detail, but I think from the outlook of it, you can tell that it's actually a very, very warm tone project as compared to some of the projects in Robertson area. Downstairs, there will be a lot of commercial, units and things like that, F&Bs and all. So right now, we are going to see, so previously, Robertson Opus is actually the old Robertson Walk, which is also by Frasers property.
I think it's like a landmark,
Iconic place especially when we were younger.
You don't reveal our age. But I think like this is some place that a lot of people will definitely remember. So Fraser decided to, rejuvenate the place, redevelop, but yet they want to keep the charm.
Correct. So basically, it's going to be from something like that, a little bit more old school, into this very, very nice development where there is actually a courtyard area, sunken courtyard and all, which will develop, which we will see more shortly.
Okay, so they are going to tear down the whole thing, and like I said, they're going to rebuild themselves. So this is definitely a non-harmonized project, means that the aircon latch is included. So 999 leasehold. Just now we mentioned that this is actually a little bit more of the warm tone kind of building.
Correct.
Not very high rise. Right. It's situated in the heart of Rivervalley. But actually, if you realize, right, the Rivervalley projects like Martin Modern and Avenir, they are more of the dark theme, dark modern theme.
Grey, modern,
so this is slightly different.
Yes, this one is actually quite different because it stands out in the crowd. Right? So for this, is actually a mixed development. Why mixed development? Because we got our residential, which is above, and then we got our podium block, which is downstairs, 26 commercial unit with one grocer at the basement. Right?
Grocer, not supermarket anymore.
Not supermarket anymore. More atas one. Okay, so for Robertson Opus, we actually have 5 blocks of them. One block special, which we'll touch on, is just 9-story, and the other 4 blocks is actually 10-story, 348 units of them. Okay, so right now, here is another some visuals of how the project will look like. You can see actually the pool, the lap pool is actually quite long over here. There is a sunken court which shows the commercial portion, like the food court or something like that, which is quite interesting. So now let's talk about the developer.
Frasers and Sekisui House. Actually, these two, the most recent collaboration that they did was actually
the Ori.
The Ori.
Have you watched our video? Okay, but anyway, yes, the Ori, but Ori also got CDL as part of them. So, but Fraser and Sekisui House, I think they are quite popular developers. They have been working together for multiple years and things like that, and a very, very good track record as well.
So Fraser actually did Riviere. Actually, Riviere is also quite near to the Rivervalley area.
Correct. And also One Jervois is also nearby that whole area as well. So next, let's go into project information. Like what Mel said, this is 999 year, so almost identical to like a freehold freehold status, which we will touch on later in District 9, which we are going to have a belt of projects coming out. And like what we say, 348 units starting from suite, all the 1-bedder, 2-bedder, 3-bedder until only 4-bedder.
But for this project, something to take note, they have lesser of the larger unit types. They have more of the suites 1 and 2, so later we'll go into that.
Correct. And then the expected vacant possession will be second quarter 2030. So next slide, I think more importantly, is just the car park lot is about 80%.
Which is okay I guess, because if there's many smaller unit types, most of the tenants, I believe, won't drive. And also, if let's say this is for own stay, it's quite close to the MRT.
Yes, actually, we will show you how close it is. In fact, you're close to multiple MRTs, and frankly speaking, you're at Robertson Quay. Just walk everywhere you want. But
it will be a nice walk.
Yes, but 80% is still quite high as compared to a lot of other projects. So next will be just some information that if you need, you can screen grab. Next, we will straight away dive into the location.
So Fort Canning MRT, technically speaking, is kind of opposite, right?
Yes, actually, I think it's just a short walk over here to the exit B. I think it's about 5 minutes walk to Fort Canning MRT. It's also a 5-minute drive to both CBD, Orchard Road, or even Clarke Quay area. Frankly speaking, Clarke Quay is just here. You can walk.
I will walk.
I will walk. But if it's very hot, then maybe you can take a bus or something. But next is we are also Riverside Lifestyle and Living. So you can see that the whole Singapore River is actually here. How many of you can actually say that you are staying next to the iconic Singapore River?
It's quite nice.
Yes, and this is one of the projects. Imagine jogging there at night and things like that. Very, very nice.
Okay, so but one thing to note, because we are still surrounded by residential plots, right? So don't expect to have like very, very good views lah. But this place is super well located.
I think it's more of the location, the iconic place, and the closeness to Singapore River. On top of that, all the new baru, like
The
cafes,
new cafes,
drinks, and F&Bs and shop houses as well. A lot of F&B in this area, and also not forgetting Clarke Quay. So I think location. It's really about the location here, not so much on the view.
And it's also quite near to offices, right? And workplace, but then you don't really feel like it's like a very corporate area like the CBD. It's still quite chill in this area. And also the shops, the 26 shops, right? They are managed by Frasers. So they are not gonna be like anyhow shops are like maybe some nail salon or like money changer massage. So it's going to be managed by them. So I think the profile of the shops will be quite good.
I think they are very, very aware. They know how to select all the tenant mix, so you don't need to be worried about it. Usually it will be very, very strong tenant profile and all. Very good shops lah. So next is like the connectivity again. So basically it's just a short walk to Fort Canning MRT, and also we are just one station away to Chinatown, whereby it's an interchange as well. Technically 2 stops from Clarke Quay, but honestly Clarke Quay is just here. After you reach Fort Canning, you can actually reach Clarke Quay already. So we are very, very close to a lot of iconic place. And then this one is also same thing, connectivity. You are just a short drive to Orchard, Clarke Quay, Raffles Place, and you are near Great Wall City.
Actually Great Wall has a lot of stuff also.
Yes.
You don't really have to go to Orchard. Great Wall has a lot of stuff.
Yes, Great Wall actually got a lot of stuff. It's just a 4 minutes drive, and I think in the future there's a lot of developments coming up in that area. Probably Great Wall, maybe they might. Long time ago, when I used to gym at Great Wall, it's like a very ulu mall. But now if you go, I think they have very, very good tenant mix already. Very good shop, NTUC and things like that.
And there's also the Zion food market also. If let's say you are sick of cafe foods, there's also the local mix also.
Abundonki is also there. But anyways, next is at 1 kilometer. You are actually 1 kilometer to quite a good school, Rivervalley Primary School as well. Okay, so next we talk about this a bit interesting site design, which we seldom talk about. So basically you can see that there are 5 blocks. Block 15 is something that I will highlight, once later, correct. And then you can see this is basically to tell you the distance from one block to another block, and also to your neighboring blocks, or like the neighboring condos and things like that. It's actually quite near.
Block 7 to block 13 is the furthest distance lah.
Correct. Then you see block 15, right, to the village residence, actually quite near. So frankly speaking, if you're outward facing, you don't really get like a super solid kind of view lah. Okay, so I think inner facing or like the internal facing, maybe that might be a bit more of a premium, which we will come to that. So this again is the site design. So you can see that the basement 3, basement 2, they are residential car park. Basement 1, you have your commercial car park.
Commercial car park not a lot, but still have.
Which is good enough. Frankly speaking, if you are shopping here, you can also park nearby, like the roadside and things like that.
The Muhammad Sultan area.
Correct. And then for level 2, this is actually where the what's that called, function room or your swimming pool, and things like the clubhouse basically that is over there. Okay, so next we'll be going into the design concept.
So design concept, we'll really touch and go over here, right? So what we will see, if let's say we are at the inward facing units, if you look down, basically you can see all the commercial podiums.
Correct.
The shops. So it's not like sealed.
Yes.
Right. So I think also a bit better airflow also lah. Right?
Better airflow, a bit more interesting concept lah. So another thing is all the rooftop that you can see over here, right? Later you will be able to see that it's actually connected. So you can actually take long walks over here, and also at each roof, right? I think there is also social pavilion that you can sit and chill as well.
Many chill out areas in this project actually.
Correct. So again, these are some of how the facade looks like the clubhouse, the common area, the pool area, and this is actually the sunken common area that you can see with water features and things like that you can get in Robertson Opus. A bit more atas as compared to a lot of other projects. Correct, because we are 999 and we are also in District 9. So frankly speaking, I think a lot of the things about this project is about better finishing, which we'll touch on later as well. Okay, right now here is actually the site map. Okay, so for this site map, right, you can see like block 15 over here. This is actually quite interesting. So this is the block that comes with just level 9. The rest of the other blocks all got 10-story. And why level 9 is because each individual unit actually has a higher ceiling height of 3.225. And this actually are the mostly of the studios, which is the suite, the 1-beders, and also the B1, which is the 2-bedder, which we'll touch on. So you can see those that are highlighted highlighted like number 5, number 8 and number 13. These are actually some of the gourmet pavilions as well.
And the gym and
at
the function
12.
room.
Correct. So all you can see that the clubhouse area is all situated on
The
right
right-hand side, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so basically when you come to here, this is actually a roof area. Those red color dots that I've circled, right, basically they are the social pavilions. So a lot of places for you to chill out and for you to walk through the night and things like that. So this is the rooftop. Next, we go into the distribution.
Yeah, so basically we see, right, the 3 and 4 bedders are a lot lesser.
Yes.
So when there are a lot of small units, right, will we be expecting a lot of tenants?
Likely.
Likely,
Maybe.
right? So,
That's
but
what people think.
okay, so basically we have 5 blocks over here just now, like we mentioned. Block 7, Block 9, Block 11 and Block 13 are the normal blocks, right?
correct.
Where actually the larger units are housed there.
Yes.
Right. So just now, like Brina mentioned, Block 15 we have the suites 1 bedder and the B1.
Correct.
The 2-bedroom.
Suites,
which
1 bedder,
have
B1, yes.
the high ceiling of 3.225. Actually, it's very interesting, right? Because for better specs, right, usually they'll give to the larger unit types. But
Correct.
for this project, right, they give it to the smaller one. But I think it's also quite smart because suites in a way or studio is already quite small.
Yes.
So when you have a high ceiling, right, then you will actually make the space look more spacious as well.
Bigger.
I think it makes the smaller bedroom types a little bit more attractive in a way.
Correct. And also, I think right after this, we'll be talking about some of the, finishing and things like that, which will further explain, why actually the 1 bedder and the suite and the 2 bedder over here might look a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, so basically this project is also quite smart because I think it's 999 year District 9 premium project, right? So they actually come out with 3 different collections, which is quite rare. So you have the premier collection, the luxury collection and the legacy collection. So it's quite simple. For block 15, like what we mentioned, the 1 bedder, the suite and the 2 bedder,
Premier.
right? They are the premier collection. So premier collection, what do they have? They have number 1, you have actually white carpentry. You have a higher ceiling 3.225 that basically enlarges at least visually, like how big the space is. It's all going to be in white, and we know that white also kind of make the space look a little bit bigger. And also you have very large format tiles with 1004 by 1004, one of the biggest in the market currently.
So you don't really see the lines at all.
Yes, no grouting.
Yeah.
Right? So next we have the luxury collection, which you have it in block 7, 11 and 13, which we will touch on later, but basically it's warm earth tone.
Yeah.
And also similarly, you have like a warm laminate carpentry finish. Okay, so basically just warmer. But for the legacy collection, which is block 9, you can see like point block, only 4 units per block. This one very special because there will be this Rimadesha sliding system that I'll go through later, glass carpentry, and it's going to be marble, not tiles.
Marble.
Okay, next will be the unit distribution. Again, if you want to know exactly, what's the distribution like, screen grab this page, or if not, you can just contact any one of us and we can send you the whole deck.
Yep.
Okay, so without further ado, let's go into the suites and 1 bedder analysis.
Yeah, so for suites at 1 bedroom, right, we will actually combine it, but let's just go through the floor plans first.
Correct.
So these 2 are the suites layout. Technically speaking, you can spot the difference, but there's only one very, very small difference, which is the extra wall that is jutting out from the corner.
Yeah, because it's a corner unit.
Yeah,
basically.
but basically there's not much difference.
Basically, there's no difference in terms of layout at all.
Yeah. So then they are also outward facing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next we will go to the 1 bedroom. The 1 bedrooms are inward facing. So basically inward facing, just now we mentioned, right, we do expect like a small premium. Yeah. So this 1 bedroom and the suites, technically speaking, the only difference is the wall in between the living and the master, right? So but this is also non-PPVC project, which means that you can actually hack this down if let's say you don't
want a bigger
that
space.
wall.
Yeah, you don't want that wall, you want a suite format, but you want a bigger space, you can remove it. So I think that's the good thing about this project.
Yeah.
And slightly bigger, this is 495 square feet.
Yeah. So when it comes to like the just now 1 bedder, we'll expect like, this area is more for rental, right?
Correct.
So when it comes to buying a property for rental, we look at 2 things. We look at supply, we also look at demand.
Correct.
Right? Demand is a little bit hard to gauge from online research, right? Because you have to be really on the ground to actually know what's going on with the buyers, what they're looking for.
Correct.
Right? But first, I think let's tackle the easier one first. We look at the supply.
Correct.
Right? We look at the supply of the downtown core. Why we take the downtown core area area is because I think this is also another popular area where people actually buy for
rental,
right? So we actually taken 5 projects in the downtown area, and then we look at the percentage of the one-bedders here is actually 40.6%.
Correct.
Actually, by looking at this number, would you feel that the supply of one-bedroom here is super high?
Yeah, super high. So for me, my concern will be, very competitive lah. If let's say for next time I want to rent it out, 40% is all one-bedder.
So if I don't have yours, I have another one.
Yeah, if I stay at the sale and if I don't rent the sale, you still can go Marina one, and things like that.
It feels like they have a lot of choice, right?
Yes.
But of course, that doesn't tell the full story. Later, we'll explain why.
Correct.
So we move on to the Rivervalley area, right?
So basically downtown, we take it and we compare it with our area lah, which is Rivervalley in this case.
So then we move on to the Rivervalley area, right? We are taking comparisons of within 500 meters to Robertson Opus of more than 300 units, because we know that Rivervalley actually there are quite a lot of boutique projects.
Correct.
Yeah, and then we also take them either freehold or 999 year status, so that is a fair comparison. And we realized that the supply of one bedroom here is only 17.6%, which is actually significantly lower than that of the downtown area.
Yes.
So actually, if you think back, right, would it be easier to rent a one bedroom here as compared to downtown?
I mean, I think that's what a lot of people would think, right? Because supply low, then it's easier to
that's what
rent.
we thought, right?
Yeah,
But
no competition.
But of course, that is not the full number of supply of one bedders that is in the Rivervalley area, because we are also expecting more plots of land to be coming up in the next couple of months.
Yeah, so these are the videos that we're going to do.
Yeah, so I will believe that there will be more one bedders coming up as well, especially, now we have information on RiverGreen. We have 105 units of one bedroom and one bedroom plus study. So this supply, I will feel that it will affect your rental, number one. It will also affect your sale price in the future, because people will be looking at rental yield.
Correct.
Right.
So additional competition.
For one bedroom buyers, most of what we know is usually investors.
Correct.
However, in the Rivervalley area, right, we are looking a little bit differently, because there will still be buyers that are buying for own stay.
Yes, definitely.
However, we are not removing the fact that there might still be investors here, so we will still look into the demand.
Correct. Basically, this is a side-by-side comparison. Remember earlier on, just now we were talking about downtown, right? Don't we say that, 48.6%, a lot of one-bedder.
Yeah.
But you see Rivervalley area, right? We only have 17.6%.
Yeah.
So technically, a lot of the people or like viewers, you will be thinking that, the lower the supply, maybe the more demand, because not many to choose from. But look at their rental yield. Average rental yield is about 3.28% in this area. But downtown, right, given the fact that there are so many one-bedder, but how come their rental yield is so high?
Because a lot of people want, no?
Yeah, but not just that. So basically what we're trying to say is, doesn't mean that if let's say your supply is very low, means your rental yield will be very high.
Yeah.
It also depends on like what kind of profile of buyers or tenants in that area. So for downtown area, we know that because you're surrounded by CBD and things like that, a lot of investors, a lot of people renting in that area. But Rivervalley is a bit different. Rivervalley, right, is very prime, a little bit more atas and
Lifestyle location.
Yeah, like with charm, you see, like what you mentioned earlier. So this area, actually, a lot of people are looking more for own stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they like it that it's freehold 999, So actually, the moment that there's a freehold concept, you do know that your rental yield probably cannot fight with all your 99-year
correct.
leasehold.
I mean, you're
right?
paying a premium for sure.
Correct. So maybe you're like renting at the same time waiting for capital appreciation because it's freehold. So that's why you can see that the rental yield significant is slightly lower.
Yeah.
So now let's go into what everybody will talk about, because when Robertson Opus launch, right? We also know RiverGreen is coming up.
Yes.
Then all your buyers will be like, then I wait for RiverGreen, right? No wrong.
Surely we'll want to compare.
Compare. So you see, let's just use Robertson Opus. The rough estimate PSF is about 3,002 right now. So we get the suite. 431 multiplied by 3,002, you're looking about 1.379 million, right?
Yeah, we're looking at the suites also because the difference between the suites and one bedder for rent, it won't be a lot.
Yeah,
that's
not
why we
much
just use the cheaper
the
one.
cheaper one lah. Then RiverGreen, number one, people 99-year leasehold PSF already lower.
Yeah.
Size is also lower. You got no fight. So the difference, you're looking at 203,000, difference cheaper. So obviously, if you give me apple to apple, right, I will choose RiverGreen, right?
Yeah,
Then we look at another example. No wrong, you're no wrong. We'll look at the second example.
So the RiverGreen, right, the leasehold project, just now we mentioned, start at 2,800 PSF. So, but this, you actually think for the 2-bedders in RiverGreen is 527 square feet.
Yeah.
And in total works out to be 1.475.
A bit of top-up
Actually,
only.
there's a top-up of like less than 100,000. Right. And this one will give you 2 proper bedrooms, and in turn, right, it will give you a higher rental yield. However, if you're buying suites for rental yield, it's, in my opinion, not the best option. You're only buying Robertson Opus because number one, you like 999 leasehold, you like the location and the lifestyle in the Robertson area. So I feel that Robertson Opus is more for own use. Yeah. So, but in the upcoming months, we will definitely cross-reference with the rest of the plots in Zion, so that you will know which project to go for whatever purpose that you are having.
So
it's different.
From here, we are not saying that Robertson Opus is suite or 1-bedder is not good, but it's just that it's different
profile
demand
of people.
Correct. So actually, sometimes we also want to tell viewers or like buyers that you cannot compare like that, because one is
It's not
999.
apple to apple.
It's not apple to apple. And for people that are very investor mindset, maybe a bit more tight on budget, of course RiverGreen makes sense. But if you're someone that's looking at a longer term, that kind of thing like freehold 999, you want the charm, you want size and things like that, then maybe Robertson Opus is something for you to consider.
Yep.
Right? So that's why we are ending with this slide, which is the finishing. So have you ever wondered like how come other projects don't have this kind of like different premier, luxury or legacy collection, but Robertson Opus got? It's because that the developers also know, that this project is probably a lot for own stay. So they also want to highlight that, the finishing that I'm giving you is also very good. That's why we have this 3 different tier of finishing.
Yeah, but even the premier, the most, like the lowest tier one, right, I think it still really looks very good.
Actually, I like it. Is it cheaper? But I like the white color theme. It kind of looks luxe as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I think in summation, I think a lot of the buyers in this area is not just looking at just purely rental. They are also looking for own stay, or maybe rent it out for a short while next time you sell out. Okay, so now we go into our top choice.
Yeah. So I think for top choice for investors, just now like we mentioned, because 1-bedder and suites, there's not much difference in terms of rental price. We will want to go for the suites if let's say you're going for investment standpoint.
Makes
right?
sense.
So we are using the internal facing with slightly higher PSF, right? So
3250.
and these two, to be honest, not much difference in views lah.
So like got pool view lah, not too bad lah. Inner facing.
If you're
got a bit
higher
of
up, then cannot really see also lah, right?
True.
So the difference between the suites and the 1-bedder is that wall in between, right? And basically this extra space, right, will cost you about 230,000. So if let's say I'm buying this for investment and I want to rent it out, then for me, I will try to maintain the price at as low as possible.
Correct. Yeah, so that's why investment, go for the suite. But if you want the own stay, you want a bigger space, then of course you can choose the 1-bedder.
Yep.
Okay, so now we go into 2-bedder and 2+ study. So we are combining them together. So right now we are looking at the 2-bedroom type. So we have from B1 all the way to B7S. B7S being the 2-bedder plus study. 4 different sizes from 689, 710, 721, which is the bulk of it, and 743. We are divided into 2 different finishing type as well. One is premier, the other one is luxury. For 721B1, very interesting. This is the only one that comes with like a higher ceiling height, which is 3.225. Okay, so now we talk about the smallest one, 2-bedder in Robertson Opus.
Yeah, so we start with this because it is the only dumbbell layout in the whole of Robertson Opus. So in terms of supply, right, you are the special one, right? The rest are the traditional layout. So the key advantage of dumbbell layout is actually efficiency. Most of the other projects that we see, right, most of them is dumbbell and less traditional. But this is the only dumbbell and the rest are traditional.
Correct.
Which is, okay, interesting.
You can tell that the developer also know in mind that, this project probably more for people that own stay. That's why more traditional layouts.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And this is quite unique because it actually comes with like a enclosable kitchen that you can actually enclose with glass panel as well. Unfortunate thing is that the bathroom, for both bathroom, you do not have like a window to it. Okay?
But of course, when we actually reference this to the larger size, right, the next size, which is a 721, which is the one that has a lot of different layouts, there's a 32 square feet difference.
Yeah.
Right, but for 32 square feet, right, if let's say you multiply by 3,300 PSF, right, it will translate estate to about 100,000.
Ooh, wow,
Yeah, so
100,000.
100,000 difference. But because of this high PSF, so that's why I feel that this dumbbell layout, right, although it is very efficient, it has everything a two-bedder kind of needs, right? A normal two-bedder also. If they have a window, will be great. But actually, this is quite normal.
Yeah, budget constraint go for this.
Budget constraint can go for this, right? And the other layouts, right, are mostly open concept kitchen. So I feel that this one is really not bad.
Yeah, it's not
Really
too
not
bad. As we progress on, you'll be able to see why. Next one will be B3, which is the second smallest. Only one of this size, also 710 square feet, inner facing, and only one stack. Technically speaking, the rooms are tucked one side, correct? And then it's just that it's diagonally across. But I think good thing is you can tell that you see like beyond the master bedroom, right, is RC ledge. Beyond the bedroom too is RC ledge. So usually you have a full window. In some cases, if let's say behind is actually an AC ledge, usually it's half window. So I guess that's one good point. The other thing is actually kitchen is the open concept kind of kitchen, and you have a very big corridor.
It's almost like a kitchenette.
Yeah, almost like a kitchenette. So this part might not be ideal, but the room-wise is still okay.
Yeah.
Next, we'll be going into, this is
the premier
best.
versus the luxury. Actually, these two, right, technically speaking, if you look at the floor plan side by side, they are almost the same. However, if we want to point out the difference, right, B1, the kitchen is, I think, slightly smaller than compared to B4.
But the good thing is you actually have the window. Here, you don't have the window. So basically, this layout is quite interesting because 721, you have the highest ceiling height, 3.225. On top of that, the master bathroom, you got window. Common bathroom, you got window. Kitchen, you also got window. And it's also enclosable kitchen. And another thing that I want to point out is if you realize, right, for B4, right, the bedroom 2 behind is aircon ledge, maybe half window. But for this one, the bedroom 2 behind is RC ledge. So likely it's full height window.
So basically between these two layouts, B1 is actually very, very good because you have all the windows in the correct places. You have cross ventilation, and I think you have the high ceiling, which is also a very, very, very attractive point.
Correct. So now let's move on to the next, which is all the other 721 square feet,
Open
B5
concept
and B6.
kitchen.
Then you see, these are all open concept kitchen already.
And the walkways are quite long.
Correct. Which later, when we choose our top choices, we will explain like what's the difference and why we choose it that way.
Yeah.
But basically, these are also traditional layout, not the dumbbell layout already.
Yeah. So, but for B6, right, there is a window in the toilet.
Yes, over here and also here.
Yeah, but for two-bedder, I think there is also a good chance that people are buying this for own stay. And for these layouts, these two layouts, they don't have a dedicated dining. I prefer to have a dedicated dining if possible.
So this one is more open concept kind of dining, which is maybe not so preferred.
In the middle of the hall.
Correct. So next, lastly, we have B7S.
Yeah, so actually this B7S, right, is actually the same as the 689 square feet dumbbell two-bedder. Just that they have one extra study.
Correct.
Which everything is quite proper. Just that we bear in mind, this is 743 square feet. And the one without the study is 689 square. So the difference is 54 square feet. So 54 square feet, if we multiply by 3,300 per square foot, right? This study will cost $178,000.
Usually when people come to this location, 999, probably they got some cash on hand,
but we just have to highlight to you the extra study costs $178,000.
Correct. You can convert it into storage as well. So yep, up to you. So for now, the two-bedder top choice, right? Okay, number one, without further ado, we will go for the B1, which is what we mentioned earlier on with all your necessary window, high ceiling,
Yeah,
white
because
layout.
you will be the one that stands out because you're the only two-bedder that has high ceiling.
Correct. So that's the reason why we are choosing that, and really it ticks all the boxes for everything. So for the next one, which is for own stay or investment, we chose the smallest layout, which is 689 because that is the most efficient. Unfortunately, no windows in like maybe toilets and things like that. But the dumbbell layout actually save a lot of space, and because it's slightly smaller, we already saw that like the 721 and 689, right? The difference in terms of price, you're looking at $140,000.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I think we will still recommend B1 because they have a very huge advantage with the high ceiling, right? So unless the difference between B1 and B2, right, is like exceed 100 PSF or 200,000 in premium, then maybe you can opt for the B2. But if the same PSF, of course you go for B1.
Correct.
Don't need to think.
This one don't need to think. Quite obvious, this is a very good choice.
So basically, we also have to take note. 3-bedroom in RiverGreen, the size is
786.
Yeah, so I think so people will definitely kind of compare, right? Say that, hey, wow, RiverGreen 3-bedroom at 2.2 million, right? This is definitely something that people are going to compare. But however, I want to highlight something, right? The buyers in Opus for 1-bedroom, there's still a high chance they are investors, right?
Investors own stay.
But for the 2-bedroom, I feel that it's more for own stay already. Definitely, if you're saying that RiverGreen 786 3-bedroom and Opus 2-bedroom 721 square feet, I think they are two very different group of buyers already. 2-bedroom Opus buyers will not go for RiverGreen. And the people who are attracted to RiverGreen, probably because of the price point, will not come to Opus.
Yeah.
Right, so I think these two buyers are very, very different. They are two very different target audience. People want to come to Opus, again, is for the location, lifestyle, 999, convenience. And people who go for RiverGreen are more of the price sensitive, good entry price and a budget constraint.
Correct.
So I think don't have to worry too much about
which
that.
Which is what we also mentioned in the one-bedder section, that you know the buyer profiles are really quite different.
Yeah.
But we also do understand that people will take it for comparison, unfortunately.
For sure. As you should.
As you should, yes. Okay, so now we talk about, the third recommended layout will be B7. Reason why B7, which is the one with study. Number one, of course, it comes with an additional study. And also, if you realize from one block to another block, the distance is actually the furthest away.
Yep.
So that is our third choice. From the fourth choice onwards, right? Okay, so basically for fourth choice, the reason why we chose this as for at least it still got this like enclosable kitchen. Traditional layout, unfortunately, you don't have windows in the bathroom, but at least the kitchen is one side and you have a proper dining space. Then when we go to our fifth position, sixth position and seventh position, basically I think it's the kind that we don't really like, which is open concept kitchen with no dining space. Okay, so that is that. I think the reason why we put this as the fifth one is because at least both here, the window, you actually do get full height window. You get extra window at the AC ledge, which makes your corridor a bit brighter, and also extra window at the common bath. This one, very open kind of open kitchen, and then after that long corridor, but then again this one is RC ledge and RC ledge, so full height window, and you have a proper dining space, at least for this one. But for the last one, reason why is because there isn't any window. This bedroom 2 is actually AC ledge, so you got half window. So that's why, and also we got no dining space. That's why it's actually our last position.
I think like for generally speaking, we always focus on livability, right? And even more so for this Robertson Opus, right?
So this is how we actually conclude with the recommended layouts and all. But however, it might be case by case, because some clients maybe they will like open concept kitchen with dining. Then it's different. So at the end of the day, it really boils down to the price also on that day. So if you need to know any information, please reach out to us. Okay, next we have our 3-bedder analysis.
We will start with the 3 Flexi.
Okay, so now we'll talk about the 3-bedder, which is 3 plus Flexi layout.
So between these two layouts, right, the smaller 3-bedroom plus Flexi, they do not have the balcony in the master. The rest has balcony in the master, which I feel like why you need 2 balconies, I think it's a bit extra, right?
Yes.
Also, the difference is that this Flexi wall, there is a window and the wall can hack.
Yes, this one you can remove it.
And if you hack, right, then your dining area becomes quite wide. I think it's quite nice.
I realize you like big dining area. Yes, so this whole area you can combine into one, and it's going to be bright because, like what Mel says, there is a window over at the flex room as well.
Correct.
So next we will be going into our
other Flexis.
C3S. Actually, let me just tell you, from 980 onwards, right, all the way, basically they are just additional balcony in the master bedroom
and longer
it's just
foyer area.
Longer foyer area. That's the only difference.
But my preference is I don't want longer foyer. I don't want extra balcony.
Okay, then you actually know her ranking already, basically. Okay, now we go into our 3-bed dual flex. Not dual key. I say together. Okay.
So it's actually quite tough to convert into a dual key. I think, it's not impossible, just that you need to spend quite a fair amount of money to actually make it to a dual key. So I feel that if let's say it's a dual key, most likely is you want the income, you want the investment purpose, right? But if let's say I'm going to spend 100k just to redo everything, I think like it defeats the purpose. Right, so for own stay also a bit weird
You can co-living
co-living.
No
so
choice.
For co-living, we have some ideas.
Yes. So basically, I think this is actually how the unit actually looks like in the real showroom as well. I think you'll be able to see this at Robertson Opus show flat. So basically the difference from 990 and the 1023, right, is really the corridor. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. If you want to do into a co-living, I'm not sure, maybe you can just put like a wall over here and things like that, which is next page, is it? Yes, next page.
So the middle becomes the common area communal area. You have a kitchen and then your dining table, which is actually, if let's say we break it down, 1 bedroom we rent it at 4,000 and 2 bedroom on the other side we rent it at 5,500.
Yes.
Total 9,500. To be honest, the rental yield quite decent. Quite decent.
3.6 lah. I mean
3.6.
above 3 and all. But this is very 勉强lah.
Yeah, it's very 勉强. So, but if you want, even if you get 4% rental yield, I think it's still going to be a challenge to sell. Because at the end of the day, 3 million budget, I come in, usually I'll buy for own stay, not really for rental yield.
Then the kitchen is a bit of a problem for a lot of people. Unless they are really targeting at people that do not cook at all.
Hardly.
Yeah, so I think a bit more challenging in terms of the dual flex. So now we go on to the last one, which is for 3-bedder type, which is 3-bed premium analysis. 3-bed premium analysis very different already. This one under legacy, which we will talk on it later. But I think good thing about 3 premium as compared to like 3 flexi is, of course, you have a bigger balcony area. Do note that there is a beam over here. So if you want to hack this away and convert it into a landscape layout, right, you can do that, but there will just be one small beam over here to take note. Next is also, like for example, this one comes with yard, extra WC, storeroom, which you don't get it in the 3+ flex lah. And also the system, that is the sliding system for the kitchen is actually very nice, very similar to the 4-bedder one, which we'll touch on the system name later. But other than that, this 2 layout is pretty much identical. And also my favorite in 3-bedder here.
Yeah, so there is also a very big master on top of the expandable kitchen where you can open up if let's say you are not cooking to merge into the living area, but if you're cooking, you can just like close it up, right? So when it comes to big layouts like this, nice layouts like this, it's actually very, very good for the Rivervalley area because it is in demand. The potential problem that I foresee is that this is at a slightly higher price point. However, I don't think that you will have any short of buyers in the future because these two combined, right, only 27 units only.
Yeah, and I think people coming into this area to look for 3-bedder, especially premium, they already know like what kind of pricing to go into already.
So supply low, high demand, and this kind of unit in Rivervalley area, right, there's a high chance that you really can make money. Just that maybe for 999 leasehold, you expect to hold a bit longer as usual.
Correct. So now we go into a legacy collection, which we didn't really mention earlier on. So for legacy wise, of course, things are different. You are no longer using tiles. We are talking about expressive marble finish. And we're also talking about this is exactly how the show flat looks like. Basically, the whole sliding door you can open up, and this whole area, right, can become your dry kitchen, like what you mentioned earlier when you host. And this is actually the Rimadiscio sliding system.
I don't know what show, but very chill. Very chill.
Yes, but this system is very expensive in the market. I repeat again, Rimadiscio. I hope I didn't butcher it. Anyway, the next one will be the carpentry finish. Like just now we got a white carpentry finish, warm carpentry. This one you actually get like glass carpentry finish. So very, very atas, very, very dainty. Alright. So next we go into our 3-bedder top choice selection.
Yeah. So of course, just now like I mentioned, only 27 units and the very, very functional layout. Perfect. Rare. I think these two deserves our attention, full attention.
Yes. Basically, everybody that comes here for own stay, you want the best, right? And this is actually the best for 3-bedder because of course it comes with yard, extra WC,
everything,
storeroom, bigger balcony, everything that you want. So that's the recommended choice. Followed by the smallest one, which you don't like the balcony.
The smallest one, the most compact, the one without the extra balcony.
Yes, the extra balcony that you don't like.
Yeah, so I think this C1S will give you the safest entry price in terms of 3-bedders because based on quantum, you'll be the cheapest.
Correct. And then our number, so from 4th all the way to the last is basically the bigger the size it gets because it's just all about the foyer.
Correct.
Right? So 4 will be our 980 square feet, followed by 5, 6, 7, which is the 1012, 1023, and 1044 square feet.
And obviously, our last choice will be the dual flex.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
To be honest, unless you really find a purpose for this, right, I will not really recommend this for own stay.
Okay, let me ask you a question. This is 990.
Yeah.
The other C5S, C4S, they are 1023.
Yeah.
If let's say this 990 is cheaper.
It's definitely going to be cheaper. However, the livability is very, very different. Right.
Understand. So next time in terms of selling might be a bit more tricky.
Correct.
Okay. That's why we actually position it at the last.
Yeah, so we also have to look at, just now we say, right, wow, there's a lot of demand. But because when we look at the available 3 bedrooms for sale in the area, right, only 29 units
Yeah.
Extremely low supply. And Aspen Heights is like 27 years old.
Very, very old, but look at the price.
Rivergate is 16 years old. And I'm saying that the price is actually a good 4 million. Right?
Correct.
So in the whole of Rivervalley, right, there's not many units for sale. Demand is high. So I think the sellers will have the power to command a higher price. But of course, livability is still very, very important. So that's why I feel that the proper and functional layouts will definitely outperform the dual flex, in my opinion.
Correct. And also we do understand that even ours is so new and it's 999-year freehold, right? Given the size itself, the quantum is still lower than all these older quantum because of course some of them they are huge.
Larger.
Yeah. So next we'll be talking about the 4-bedder analysis, which is very simple because there's only one layout of it and only one stack. 1,539 square feet.
Yeah.
So basically, in summation of this, right, which we'll go through, the only bad thing or cons about this is basically no lift, no private lift, which a lot of buyers, if you're buying into this kind of 999, D9, you will expect to have a lift.
Yeah, I actually hope that they did include a private lift, but they didn't.
But it's okay. So what we can do, what we can go through is, it comes with a junior master bedroom, of course with an ensuite bathroom. You still have your proper living and your dining space, the Rima Distro sliding door with the kitchen area, very, very big piece of balcony. You can remove this whole part and convert it into a very big living room.
Yes.
Other than that, maybe your walk-in wardrobe, which is slightly different than the 3-bedder, much bigger master bedroom. But other than that, it's pretty much similar to the 3 premium.
And there are only 9 units.
Oh yes, there are only 9 units of this. Then now let's look at the surrounding supply of 4-bedder.
So similarly to the 3-bedroom, right, there's also a lack of supply of 4 bedrooms in this area. There are only 15 units for sale. And you see the Avenue is asking for 8 million.
8 million.
But of course, we bear in mind, they are 2,000 square feet.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah,
For our 4-bedder is about 1,005 plus. Right. But 8 million.
Yeah. The
Right.
price gap of between the ours, which is the newer one, and them is quite big.
Yeah.
So I definitely do think that there will be people that like demand that is looking at this kind of 4-bedder. And moreover, there are only 9 units in the whole of the project as well. Okay, so in conclusion, I think for Robertson Opus, most important, we mentioned earlier, is a little bit more towards own stay. So finishes is actually very, very important.
Yeah.
That's why we have the 3 different type of it, right? And for 999 years owners, right, they're actually looking at different things. They really, really care about this kind of like finishing and layout and things like as compared to like leasehold. So it won't be an apple-to-apple comparison as compared to like maybe RiverGreen on upcoming projects. So in Opus, we must focus on one thing, which is like the livable space.
Yeah. And big units are actually rare to come by in the Rivervalley area as well.
Yes, correct.
Right. So in the next couple of months, just now like I mentioned, we will come up with RiverGreen in August, Promenade Peak in July, Grand Zion, I think it's in October, and I think one more plot, don't know what's the name yet. But anyway, total plus Opus, we have 5 plots. We will definitely be doing a lot more comparisons moving forward in the future, especially for those that are all 99 years.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So preview date is 5th of July, booking date is 19th of July.
I think the good thing is we are going to do all this comparison among all these different projects, right?
Yeah.
So technically speaking, when you come to us, based on your profile, we can roughly let you know, like, which one is more suitable for you, because maybe you are that kind that will be a bit more suitable for 99-year-old RiverGreen, then maybe Robertson Opus might not be for you.
Correct.
But if let's say you are that kind that focus more on like, getting a freehold in this area, not so much on rental yield, then we can say that maybe Robertson Opus might be
is very different.
Correct. So it all depends on you actually.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see you at the show flat.
So we come to the end of our conclusion. So basically here is my QR code. You can scan and you probably can reach out to me if you want any information on Robertson Opus or any other projects that is coming up. And I will see you at the next video. Bye!